Welcome back to my video series on patching the generative Polykrell. The last couple of episodes we've looked at how I've been able to derive signals from the big part of the Polykrell patch to control my dope for polysynth to add in a whole new voice with 4-voice polyphony. This time around I wanted to just do a quick walkthrough of the patch as it updates and give you a chance to hear the voices as I kind of talk my way through the score as things happen. So right now we are on the second step of the form sequence. And we're listening to the melody, the counterpart voice, and the bass voice, although the counter isn't going to be playing just yet. Now we're hearing the counter voice kick in as we've reached the third step in our form voltage. And the bass voice is up. I'm just going to add in one of the telharmonic voices. Should be playing, but it'll be quite quiet as its sequence step has it turned down quite a bit. And then I'll bring in this second telharmonic. We're just about to hit step 5, in which it'll start to speed up a little bit. So we've been through 2 scale changes so far. And now we're on step 5. So we've got the melody running, the counterpart running, the bass part running, and the telharmonic. And now we're on step 6, which is the fastest, brightest of them all. I'm going to snap in the dope for poly voices. But as we've reached step 7, the poly voices have now faded out, and then they'll come back once we get to step 8. So we're watching the play sequencer, and it's just showing us that it's moved on to step 8 on both of its sides. So the dope for poly should come up in the mix. And we should have the counterpart, the melody, the bass is in there, but it's going to be quiet, and the telharmonic voices are going to be quiet. And then pretty soon the whole thing will reset to step number 1. It just did that, so now we've got a scale change. So in step number 1, there's no melody. We've got that turned off. But the counterpart voice is playing. And the dope for poly part is off. So in the next step, step 2, we're there now. The dope for poly should fade in. Slew should be turned on. Now we're on step 3. Poly's still going to stay on. Both the counterpart and the melody are on, and the bass is on. But the telharmonics are off. And then the telharmonic voices will come back in the next step. So we're there now. So the telharmonics, they're set to be quiet. And the poly is off. And the melody is off. And now we're in step 5 where it starts to speed up. So then we've got another scale change to a largely chromatic scale. And remember that I'm running a dope for slew generator on the output of the Pittsburgh sequencer that changes the speed of all this. So we'll see that VU slowly slide up and everything will begin to speed up and raise up in pitch. And now it's reached its maximum to step 6. So this is as fast as I've got it set to go. Most of the voices are on. And now we're at step 7. So it starts to slow down a lot here. And we can hear the pitches dropping. The telharmonic voices get really quiet in this section and the bass gets really quiet. The melody's still in there, the counterpart voice gets quiet, and the poly voice, dope for poly voice, is turned off, but it comes back in section 8. So on our scopes, the O'Toole is now showing us the melody and the counterpart voice. The dope for analog meter is still showing us the output of the Pittsburgh, what was formerly our form CV from the dope for ribbon. And then the 8761 mini scope on the far right is showing us once again the triangle LFO that drives the quantizer. And so we can see it get smaller and larger depending on the voltage from the Pittsburgh. And I've currently got it set to get quite fast in the faster sections. And I've also got the reverb in this mix that gets quite long and dense in the slower sections as well. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed seeing me put together this patch. Basically one cable at a time till I ran out of cables. I've only got a few left. So I must be pushing some well over 400 cables at this point, now that I've added the dope for polysynth and all its cables. It's been a pleasure working this patch up for you guys. I'm sure that I'll do something else like this in the future, probably a little bit more rhythmic based, something more with a little bit more of a groove, bass line, maybe even some drums. But in the meantime, please like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And please consider joining my Patreon to help me do more patching, make more videos, and make more wacky music. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.